Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the SCU Jazz Concert here at the end of the winter quarter in 2021. I'm really excited for the music we're going to be presenting to you this evening. We have 6 pieces in total that we've put together. Just like last quarter, if you were at that concert, if you have access to headphones or a pair of speakers, I think it's really going to improve your listening experience. The students and I have put a lot of time into trying to make the best possible sounding recordings that we could for you. And I think a lot of that gets lost if you're just listening to it on maybe a laptop or something like that. That said, however you're going to listen to it, we really hope you enjoy yourself. This quarter, we went about the procedure a little differently. I actually solicited opinions from the students about what pieces they wanted to do. And so everything on this concert, with the exception of maybe 2 pieces, was actually chosen by the students themselves. And then during the very beginning of the quarter, as we were sort of learning the music, we went through and discussed how we wanted the videos to look. And so students showed different music videos from popular music and things like that, and then we kind of decided what the aesthetic would be visually speaking, and then tried our best to realize that vision. So it's kind of an exciting process and been really interesting. I know I've learned a lot. I think our students have learned a lot from the process as well. So with that, we're going to kick off the concert. The first piece that we're going to perform is actually by a Brazilian composer who's extremely famous, Antonio Carlos Jobim. But we will actually not be using the original lyrics to the tune. So he wrote this piece, and I apologize to any Portuguese speakers in the audience for my pronunciation, but it's Chega de Saudade. But the very famous jazz singer Jon Hendricks wrote a set of lyrics to it in English that are very often used, and he called it No More Blues. And so that's actually the lyric that we're going to use for the piece. The song itself is sort of has 2 halves. It starts in a minor key and then it moves to the parallel major key. And so the students had presented sort of a color scheme aesthetic as something that we wanted to go for, and then we decided to try and change it when it changes for each of the halves. So with that, we hope you enjoy our version of Antonio Carlos Jobim's No More Blues.
And there'll be no more blues. Every day while I am far away, my thoughts turn homeward, forever homeward. I've traveled round the world in search of happiness. The only happiness I found was in my hometown. No more blues, I'm going back home. And no more dues. Every day while I am far away, my thoughts turn homeward, forever homeward. I've traveled round the world in search of happiness. The only happiness I found was in my hometown. No more blues, I'm going back home, and no more dues. I'm through with all my wondering. Now I settle down and never roam, and find a man and build a home. When we settle down, there'll be no more blues, nothing but happiness. When we settle down, there'll be no more blues, nothing but happiness. When we settle down, there'll be no more blues, nothing but happiness. When we settle down, there'll be no more blues.
This next piece is by the saxophonist Chris Potter, who is a heavyweight in the contemporary jazz scene. And it's a piece from his album Gratitude, which was released in the late 1990s, that he called The Source. It was actually dedicated to the saxophonist John Coltrane. All the pieces on that album were dedicated to different jazz musicians who were influential to him. And so this piece is sort of a variation on a blues in a way. And the students and I decided that it would be really neat to try our hand at some wild visual effects that involve chroma keying. And so it took a little bit to get there, but we think we put together a really great sounding and interesting visual version of Chris Potter's piece, The Source. This next piece is by the trumpet player Freddie Hubbard, and it's a piece that he wrote called Little Sunflower, which has sort of become a jazz standard over the years since he wrote it in the late 1960s. This ensemble actually has a number of students who were new students to me, who I had not known yet, who decided to participate this quarter in our jazz program here at SCU. And over the process of this, I've learned a lot about them as musicians, as well as them developing as musicians. And so it's been really interesting. And I think they did a wonderful job with the piece, given its sort of late 60s time period and everything. We decided that we would actually maybe go with a psychedelic kind of look. And so we tried to use some effects that would be used in different other music videos from that time period in this, which is our version of the Freddie Hubbard piece, Little Sunflower. I'd like to continue with a piece written by saxophonist Seamus Blake. Mr. Blake is a heavyweight in modern jazz and someone whose career I was familiar with, but not this piece actually. Omar Garcia, who's a saxophone player, one of our students who's performing on this particular version of this song, requested that we do it. He made me aware of it. I had never heard it, and it's an absolutely beautiful piece. And our students did a really fantastic job with it. We actually went through and figured out a lot of it ourselves. And then one of the other students, Lucas, who's playing both bass and drums on this particular recording, reached out to Mr. Blake and actually got some information from him to fill in some of the gaps from what we couldn't quite figure out for ourselves. And so this is a beautiful piece that he wrote. It's in a 3/4 time, and it's sort of a cross, at least our rendition is some modern jazz, but also a little bit of a pop influence on it, which I think has come out really, really well. Mr. Blake is actually Canadian, but he chose to use a Portuguese lyric to this. He didn't always perform it with lyrics. Sometimes it was just instrumental. But I think he wrote a beautiful lyric, and I think our vocalist did a fantastic job with it. So this is Seamus Blake's piece, Beliza que vem, A Beauty This Way Comes.
Saber muito bem de tua agora paz, a beleza que vem. Eu amor feito saudade a flor nasceu e sem saber fui querendo mais. Você vem e me deixa tonto assim. É saudade demais. O som de tu mar em mim.
The next piece we'd like to perform for you is actually written by saxophonist Braxton Cook. And again, this was another piece brought to me by one of our students, and I was unfamiliar with it actually. It's a piece called Sao Paulo. And so we decided to try and get a little bit of a nightclub kind of vibe for you, playing a bit with the lighting that we were using. So we hope you enjoy our version of Braxton Cook's Sao Paulo. like to close our concert this evening with a piece written by the composer and arranger Sammy Nestico. Mr. Nestico passed away this year, but he often worked with many different kind of legendary jazz figures, but I think he gained maybe the biggest recognition working with the Count Basie Orchestra, which is who he wrote this piece for, actually. It was featured on an album by that group called Basie Straight Ahead, a very famous album, which were all Sammy Nestico compositions and arrangements written for the Basie Band. This is his piece called Hay Burner, and we hope you enjoy it and have enjoyed the concert. Thank you.